No, there's no TV about it. I mean, we're sitting in those chairs 8 hours a day for around 2 weeks in 1 month, and then the same thing another 2 weeks. The pitches you see are 1 hour long, and there's 16 cameras shooting. So that's 16 hours of footage for you to see 8 minutes. There's not enough acting you can do in the world to do that. There's no retakes.
Yeah.
There's no nothing. The only thing we retake sometimes, and it's not a retake, is at the end of the day, we do general, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out, because I may have said I was out and 5 people were talking and the mic didn't pick me up accurately. So they'll cut to me going, I'm out. But it's the same thing that I said before. I just said I'm out.
Got you. So as an investor, who is your team? Like, because like, for example, you're doing these deals on Shark Tank, right? And you're analyzing these people like at face value, what they're telling you right there on the spot. But once you take these deals back and just even off and on Shark Tank, right? Do you have a team that does due diligence for you, or are you doing that yourself? Do you have like underwriters to where you turn to them and you say, hey, crunch these numbers, look at this business, do this research? Tell me how that works.
Yeah, you immediately go back. So I give you so we're going to see an average of 140, 150 people, around, and 40,000 people applied. The Sharks are going to see 150 people. 95 people will make the air. The rest they won't make the air. So the show, we have to look for the people who are trying to exploit the platform, who have no plans on closing a deal. So immediately, once I do a deal, I give them some paperwork for them to take to the attorneys or whatever, and says something to the nature of, if we do not close this deal, you will not be able to shop this deal for another year after airing. And what that does is that, first of all, if you have a plan on closing a deal, you got a problem with that.
Right.
But if you do say, man, I'm about to get on Shark Tank, get a free commercial, well, you might, but you know that you can't say anything to anybody for a year, right? And that creates some kind of challenge. And if you decide not to sign that, then I pretty much know that you don't have no intention, and what you're doing is you're taking that opportunity away from somebody that really probably needed the money that should have been on the show. Yeah. So immediately I send that over to the producer, say, I don't think this person has any kind of, whatever. So that happens. Then we send over to our team, to a venture capital kind of person. We say, go through all the documents. They have a big questionnaire. You go through all that. You hand in all your stuff. Is this really your trademark? Is this really, do you really own this? He does a criminal check on you, does all kind of checks on you, because maybe you have a $1 million lien from the IRS. I'm not going to ask you that on TV,
right?
Or you're not going to announce it on TV,
exactly,
right? And then it can take us up to almost sometimes up to 8 months to close a deal.
Got you. When you look at a business, are you looking more at numbers, or are you looking at people?
People. Always. I mean, you're not even going to get an offer if I don't like you. It's just reality.
Have you ever had someone wrong where you looked at them, you thought they were the kind of people that you would want to do business with, and then later on you found out that wasn't the case?
Many times, but I've learned that the already going into it, you don't like them, almost never works. Right? So if you like them, you got a 50-50 chance.
Right.
And they may not like me.
Right.
Or remember, you can only have so many people on the show. I may not like your husband or your wife. Yeah. I may find out somebody else is pulling the strings behind the scenes, and I thought I was talking to you.
Right.
You ever hear that, well, can I go in the hallway and call my partner?
All the time.
Well, then why are you here then? You can't make the decision?
That's a fact.
Every time I got to have a conversation, you was like, yo, where your partner? Where this person? I don't want to have a conversation for 9 people.
Yeah. What are the characteristics that you're looking for? You said people. So what are those intangible things that people have to have for you to
open to learn, problem solving, knows that it can be figured out, knows that money is a tool and the money can highlight your weaknesses, everything that can't be answered with money, great communicator, does homework, all those things. And when I say that they're open to learning, they don't have to learn from me.
Right.
I mean, my most successful companies generally I'll have conversation here and there. I'll give them 10 things to do. They may do 1 or 2, but then they talk to 3 other people and they come up with what works best for them, you know, and they move and they execute on it.
Do you ever watch the show and assess yourself?
No.
Never?
No.
Is there a reason why?
Well, first of all, I don't like looking at myself. I don't like hearing myself. I don't like looking at myself.
I'm the same. So
Yeah,
I got you.
most people
I
are,
don't like,
right?
It's cringy, very cringy.
And again, I'm just being myself when it's hard to assess myself.
Right. But I mean, it's like you could look, if you did watch it, you could say, man, you know what? Maybe I should have taken that deal. Or maybe, you know, because you're kind of like watching it almost like a game time type of Monday morning quarterback type of thing.
I'm only watching an edit.
True.
And I'm watching 8 minutes of a 1 hour. So I'll give you an example. If I watch myself and I'd be like, yo, D, that dude, man, he's got everything in on the line in his life. This is the biggest moment in his life. And you gave him 10 seconds to give you an answer. You're an asshole. Right?
Right.
Now, the Damon who was there would be like, I was offering the asshole $200,000 for 20 minutes and he was not paying attention to me and he was looking at everybody else. And you didn't get to see the 19 other minutes when I was like, yo, I got 200,000. What's up? 200,000. Hello, over here, 200,000. Why are you, okay, you can kiss Mark's ass later. 200,000.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what? I got 10 seconds for you to give me a goddamn answer. So it's hard to, you know, to analyze myself knowing
because it's different. I got you. I totally get. Do you like doing deals by yourself more than doing stuff with other people?
I hate doing deals with other firms. Hate it.
Why?
Well, so no, don't get me wrong. So again, knowing your assets. I know what I know, and I know if the company has really good founders and they just need money and it's a return on capital, no need to do it with anybody else. If it's in fashion, if it's in consumer products, celebrity, something, whatever the case is, I got this. So in that aspect, my asset is I'm very connected. I can do this. What's the liability? I'm not good at technology as well as Mark Cuban, who was a tech genius. Robert Herjavec, who is one of the top 10 cyber crime experts in the world. Lori can make products better than me in some senses, and she understands women buying habits, right? So I'll bring them in and realize that my asset is here, but my liability, I may not know that. So that's when I'm a bottom feeder. I'm a catfish. I suck their blood. Right. So I know if something's 200,000 and I know that the money doesn't really mean a thing, but if they're fearing that I'm going to ratchet this up to 300, I'm debating over it, I'm fighting over it, I'm ratcheting it up, and I may potentially take it from them. They really like it. Right. And if I can get them to the breaking point, they'll be like, all right, damn, you want to do something together? I'd be like, all right, no problem. I do it together. And then I just sit at home and let them do all the work.
So that tension is real? Like that's real tension?
That's 100% real.
Because I mean, you
have any brothers or sisters?
Siblings? I do.
How many brothers?
So I have 2 older brothers and 1 sister.
Okay. You love them, I assume.
Sometimes.
Okay. Good answer. If you were on national television fighting with them, you all had money, you're fighting with them, and you're looking at somebody, and first of all, you like it. Right. Second of all, you want them to pick you because you think for sure you're definitely better than your brother or sister, and you don't want to get embarrassed on national television. Right. That's a real conversation.
That's a fact.
I'll see you at Thanksgiving dinner, but right now, I'm gonna get in your ass.
Nah, I mean that's definitely real, and I see that. But as a viewer, I'm like, is this, are they just messing around to make it fun and good for the audience?
It's still fun though. Yeah. Some don't know, but we get into heated debates, and it's okay, right? Yeah. And we get it. The next pitch after that, we don't carry it over to the next pitch. I've only been upset probably once or twice during the whole, and probably all the Sharks have been upset once or twice that we took it over to the next pitch because we just got very passionate about something.
Why were you upset? Do you remember that particular pitch?
I may not have been upset per se, but
salty.
let's say there's one that came on named Scully, young brother, and sometimes being naive is also good in business, and I'll explain why. He has an app that helps kids get scholarships and find scholarships. He had already got 1.2 million, I believe, in scholarships himself by understanding. So now you got proof of concept, somebody who's already done it, right? The app wasn't necessarily up to speed where it was, but we like him, and he's an absolute amazing founder. Lori and I invest in it. Mark and Robert and Kevin all call it snake oil or say there's not enough information. And this is because, of course, they're tech guys. They're asking questions of stuff I wouldn't know. Right. You know what I mean? And they're like, whatever. They're looking at it as charity, I guess, because he's African American or because whatever. But isn't that the purpose of the show? People coming on who may not have everything in place and they want a shark. Yeah. And so as we had a healthy debate. And no, I was not. I have turned down a lot of people in the show who may look like me because for various reasons. Maybe it wasn't a great business at the time or something else like that. So you don't see every time there's a person of color come on the show, I go, here you go, here's the money. Right. I wouldn't be doing that would not be fair for us as people of color if I just invested in everything that come on the show because you're black. Right. Right. And then what Cuban going to invest in everybody because they're white? Barbara, everybody because they're a woman? Yeah. So we just had a healthy debate. Robert walked off because he just was tired of, chatting with us. It's kind of one of those things where he probably felt he knew so much about it, like, you idiots. Yeah. And guess what? The dude goes on to do phenomenal. Really? Right? So wow. They were wrong. And have I been wrong? Absolutely. I've been wrong plenty of times.
I think every time a brother does come on the show, they want to do a deal with you, though.
They might or might not.
They like, I want David. You know what I'm saying? Like, deep down, because I mean, it's just, we family.
You do want to do business with people you look like, but sometimes that doesn't necessarily happen because a lot of people go on the show and they're deep into sports. They want Cuban. Yeah,
that's true.
Or they're super technical geeks. They want Robert. They can have a real, they can granular conversation about the technology. Right. Or they want Barbara for it. So, you know what? I guess that's what makes a show work.
No doubt. At this point in your life, what's the most important things to you, man?
Health. Trying to give a lot of like doing this with you, right? Trying to give as many people as I can the knowledge to go out and be able to, feed their families because unfortunately there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's a lot of people trying to sell you a shortcut. They're not trying to tell you to hustle. They're saying they're trying to sell you a pill. A lot of people out there do not want to educate themselves. They take what somebody else tells them. And there's a lot of con men and con women out there that will take advantage of good people. And I think that this is unfortunate. This is very unfortunate that I'm probably the only African-American man or woman on television on a business show that have nothing to do with sports or music or politics. And there's many, many people like us behind the scenes that other people need to see. Our kids don't need to grow up, and nothing wrong with athletes and nothing wrong with musicians and nothing wrong with politicians, right? All those are careers that you can make a lot of money and change a lot of lives if you do it the right way. But our kids need to see regular people who got left back, who's dyslexic, who didn't come from money, who didn't go to college, make it and go, why can't I do the same as Damon? Right? Yeah. So I think that people of all colors need to see that. And we're at the day and age where you just pull up social media. Everybody's super sexy. They got mad money. They all skinny. They all in Greece, chilling. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you get this inferior complex by just turning on your phone. And I just think that my job is to show people that no, you don't need all that, man. You can do it.
That's a fact. How do we change that? Because I mean, you do network television and you're behind the scenes with a lot of things. Like when those decisions are being made as to what's going to be put out there on TV and everything, how do we get, more influence to where we can have shows that are more educational and not just talking about LeBron shooting or, just a little bit deeper, what you're talking about.
Make more Daymons. Make more of you.
I like that.
That's what you're doing now.
Yeah.
You don't wait for somebody else to put that show out. You put that out right now on YouTube, right now on your podcast. And Yeah, you know what? 85, 90% of the world will be people who will be followers, or they will not want to do it themselves, or they'll blame the whole world against them. And that's fine. But if you just make 1, 2, 3 more, 5 more, 10 people, it'll change. But that's the only thing we can do. Other than that, I got to get to my day job, which is taking care of my health and my family and the people that I love,
Right. So how far, if I was to ask you some advice for Truck and Hustle, I have this podcast, I have an audience that I've established. How far do I take this until I go and somebody buys me out or puts me on their platform? Or do I just keep on going independently to where I could continue to control the narrative fully?
No, you keep going independently, but you entertain all conversations. You don't know what conversation will come, but you don't slow down hoping that, the prince is going to pull up in a white horse and save you. You keep moving. And the reason is, you're supposed to keep moving with it because you truly love it. If there's a day that you want to hand it off for whatever reason or sell it, then that's up to you. That's a personal decision. Something may happen in your life where you're like, I'm on to bigger and better or greater things, or something may happen in your life where you're like, I don't want to work that hard. Whatever it is. But when you get that exit, potentially, or you entertain more of that stuff, it's a very personal reason you're doing it.
Got you. How much of that kid from Queens is still left in you?
I don't know. I would think everything. I was in Queens up until 29. I was 29 years old. So if you really think about it, it was only 24 years ago. And I still have a massive amount of friends that came up with me. One of my partners has known me, 49 years. So I'm 53.
Yeah.
So, and my other partner has known me about 40, 42 years. So, I'm still that guy, and listen, when you get sometimes if I'm feeling myself, not that this happened to me, but if it did happen, I got my man, but you feeling yourself, you remember that time you shitted on yourself? You know what I'm saying? You wasn't feeling yourself then, right? You know what I'm saying? I was there, nigga. So you keep a good amount of people who are going to tell you exactly what it is that you can trust, that you love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've cut a lot of people out of my life too.
Do you still have that the fire, the determination, the grit that you feel like you had when you were coming up building FUBU?
Recently it has come back.
Why?
It comes back about every 7 years.
In sevens, huh? Why is that?
And I think I remember somebody did say to me one time, people change every 7 years.
That's interesting.
And now that and I'm only reflecting on it now, talking to you. I don't know why.
Just every 7 years. So what brought it back this time? Did an event happen?
I think we all got to sit home for 2 years and reflect on what we want to do, but we also, if you really think about it, we lost a lot of people, and we realized how much more delicate life. We already thought life was delicate, but man, after losing so many people, whether personally or even every time you turn on the TV, it's like DMX and the Fat Boys and and this dude, the Humpty Dance dude, and
Shock
this
G.
actor over here, and then wait,
crazy.
what happens in the subway in New York City? Wait a minute, look at this going over here in Ukraine. Look, you just turn around and you're like, man, why am I still alive?
If you twisted, confused, or stuck about trucks, don't be dumb. This is the place to come. Truck and Hustle. Let's go.